Good morning. How's everybody this morning? So I thought, I'm just going to have a regular cup of coffee. And then I ended up with this glass. Couldn't find my third coffee cup. Then I found it. It's also dirty, unfortunately. Anyways, so I am up and dressed, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do today, but I will film it and let you know. So today is just as much of a surprise to me as it will be to you. But this morning I have decided to make, because the bigger glass. Also with this I have decided to milk, sugar. Let me tell you the story about my sugar. Oh my god, it's hilarious. So let me just get some caramel out of the refrigerator. And I'm gonna splash a little caramel in there as well, like a caramel macchiato. Anyway, so yesterday or the day before, I gathered up all my spices, my flour, my sugar, my powdered sugar, my wheat flour, all of it, salt, pepper, all of it. Gathered it all up and repackaged into some Tupperware. So, because I've been struggling to get like the scoops of sugar, right? So this is the sugar container, and I shoved every little speck of sugar I had into this container. Then I put it, see where it says sugar, right? I put it in my cabinet like this underneath the flour. So I'm like flour and what, more flour? So, but this alone took me probably 10 minutes to remember I did this 2 days ago. I was looking for a jar of sugar. Where the fuck is all my sugar? Where'd it go? It all fit in here, so I had no little jars of sugar left. So this is my new sugar container, and then I thought, well, I'm not going to bring out this big, huge thing every time I want a spoonful of sugar in my coffee, right? Not to mention the fact that you don't want to put, that's all the sugar you got. You don't want to contaminate it, right? So, therefore, I will be using a different spoon for the sugar as I will for the coffee. But then I thought, you know what? I need something that I can just have a little bit here, like a teacup, like a cream and sugar thingy, right? Where the it has a little spoon, and the cream you pour this little tiny spout. Anyways, I'm making Starbucks Columbia instant medium roast, and sugar, caramel, and milk. We went and got some other milk. No sooner did we do that the milk stopped being drank. I don't know how to deal with it all the time. Okay, this is good until December. Nice, December 10th even. Wow. There you go. You've outdone yourself. Oh, I swear to God, if this goes bad before December 10th, I'm gonna flip a fucking lid. I think I'm just not used to Dairy Gold, because it doesn't taste very good. I only bought it like 4 or 5 days ago. Something like that. Oh shit, don't do that yet. Not yet, stop. Gotta do the coffee first. So it's pretty strong coffee, so just above the Smith ought to do it. And I poured one of those little cups into this cup to see, and it filled it up to here. So it's not that much bigger, really. It actually probably filled it up to like there. So there's only like that much. Yeah, that milk doesn't taste good. It probably can still go on my coffee, but yeah, Dairy Gold. You do better. better date your stuff. It's only been open for like 4 days. Like, dude, really? It could just be me. I've had that issue before where it's a different brand, and I'm like, ew, what do they do to their milk? Well, let me tell you a story. I'll tell you a story this morning, sure. I used to work at a dairy farm. I did, yep, sure did. But I wasn't strong enough to, or I think maybe mean enough, I don't know, to actually milk the cows. But I did help once in a while in the milking pit, but most of it was, I was clearing colostrum. I think that's what it's called, colostrum. Off the top of the milk, it's a layer that settles. And so that goes to the baby cows, to the little tykes, right? So I was taking care of the baby cows. So I would get 2 5-gallon buckets of colostrum, and I would carry it back to the barn with my rubber boots and, hey y'all, how you doing? Yeah. So, yep, I did. I worked on a dairy farm for probably a couple of years. I got a house for free, rent-free housing, all of it. It was fun. The only thing, we had to buy our own food. That was it. Phone, electric, everything else. You know, we didn't have internet service back then, or cell phones back then. You know, right? Cell phones came long before after my first daughter. So, anyways, but I think I've let this sit for a sec. We're going to start with some caramel. So yeah, I worked at the Keller Dairy Farm in Redmond, Washington. They're not there anymore because I know this because I've had my school bus out in that area driving for a school, Bear Creek or something like that. So yeah, the Keller Dairy Farm used to be out there. I lived in Redmond for quite a long time. So, yeah, I would feed the calves. So after I carried the big, huge, heavy buckets back to the barn, then I would pour those big buckets into some littler buckets, about the size of this sugar container, right? And I'd fill it about halfway. And then I would set it in front of, I'd set one in front of each calf, right? But ladies, you were born 2 weeks ago. You should learn how to eat by now. You should know this. And they're just, well, it's down there. It's down there. No, down, look down. So you know what I had to do? I had to take the bucket in the cow's head and go, dunk. Oh, there it is. Yeah, you have to dunk their heads, this much of their face into, the cow's nose and into the milk for them to know where the fuck it is. And that goes on for a while. I thought, 1 or 2 times, no problem. Nope. I don't know if these cows were just dumb or what, but yeah, it went on for a while. I'd bale the hay and I'd clear the colostrum and I'd feed the calves, right? I'd help with all the stuff, birthing. I birthed the cow once. Birthed the calf, yeah. She was breech. I'm coming out feet first, and the guy's arms were too big. And he said, hey, come here. And I'm like, what? And he goes, put some gloves on. Come here, I need your help. I'm like, yeah. I reached my arm up into the cow and turned the calf around because his arm was too big to fit, right? And so I guided the calf. And see, I had to put a chain around the calf's neck. So what was up in her was a chain and me. And I was trying to get the chain, get her head turned around. And yeah, as soon as that chain went on, my arm came out and he yanked and out came that cow. And down onto down onto the ground. And I'm like, oh no, is she okay? oh yeah, she'll be fine. Thanks for your help, blah, blah, blah. So I got that one standing up, that one was a little special to me. And then later I got to feed it, which was cool, and so I named that one. Yeah, I love that one. I love that cow. Yep. So, and yeah, so then I just, I worked there for a couple of years. No big incident, I don't think. Yeah, I didn't do much of anything. But feed the calves. Oh, however, out my kitchen window was the bull. In the pasture out my kitchen window was the bull. And I'd be standing there doing dishes. I'm going to go about 2.5. This is just too bellowy to stop. But yeah, spooning the sugar out of this big, huge container. Kind of amazing, actually. Anyways, so this thing was such a dick. He was such a dick. Well, he didn't like me watching him out the kitchen window. So the kitchen window, right, was here, right? And there was about this much space between the kitchen window and the fence that held the bull where it was. So he could get very close to me, very close. Yeah, I never worried about it. Shit, I ran from him. One time I threw a rock and hit him right between the fucking eyes because he was chasing me. I said, oh no, I ain't running this time. I ain't running today. Boom! Just blam! And he was like, oh, nah. Turned around, walked away. Don't fucking bully me, bull. Where do you think the word comes from, right? Bully. Get it? Bull. But yeah, I definitely had my heyday when I was younger. Yeah. Yes, sirree, that was the day. Them's the days. And I was living with my stepfather at the time. And he was driving his work van. And he had opened his own business, but still was driving the RCA work van, because I think he still worked for RCA while his business was taking off or whatever. But he had a van, just a regular van. He let me drive it, even though he knew I didn't have a license. I started driving when I was about 12 without a license. Didn't matter to me. I fucking care. Oh, I got my license suspended till I was 18. Yeah, I'll tell you that story later. That's another story. But yeah, so my dad would just let me drive the van because he knew I was going a hop, skip, and a jump from his house over to the farm. And then I got a house on the farm after the one guy left. And that was, we had to share. So when I moved in to the house, there was already people living there. So we were like roommates. But if you live in for rent free, damn straight you're gonna live there. Damn straight. That was bizarre. I'm gonna do that again and start snapping some photos, because that's pretty cool the way that shit just swirls like that. It looked like 2 seahorses. And yes, I'm just trying to make it easier on myself. Absolutely. I need a couple of easy days. That's what I need. Anyways, thank you for joining me this morning in my rant. My half cup of coffee. I'm definitely going to finish the coffee, that's for sure.